Hi, everybody. This is the Never Ending Realm, and today we're going to just cover the news of the week. This is August 14th today, so we're going to cover the news from August 9th to today, Monday to Friday. I think, the big news was the cancellation, or not the cancellation, the delay of Halo Infinite. How do you feel about that?
Um, well, now I'm kind of wondering why I should get an Xbox Series X this Christmas. Um, yeah, I have the Xbox One, actually the base one, except it's actually the Forza edition, so it's a terabyte hard drive, which I do like, and I've had it for a number of years, like 5 or 6 years now, and yeah, it runs fine still. And I also only have a 1080p TV, so now I'm kind of wondering what game is going to propel me to buy the first X Series X, because as we all know, the first editions of a lot of consoles have problems. I mean, I had the red ring problem myself with my Xbox 360. Um, there's also the problem with the drifting Switch Joy Cons. So I'm really kind of wondering why should I buy the Xbox Series X this fall when it comes out without Halo as a game to play. Um,
Well, that's been the.
yeah,
But I mean, this is what we've been preached by Microsoft and Phil Spencer for about for a good part of a year now, that Halo Infinite is going to be the launch killer app for the Xbox Series X. But at the same time, we have been told that you don't have to upgrade. I mean, if you have an Xbox One, you're going to be able to play Halo Infinite. You're going to be able to play most of the games that are coming out on November. But I have to assume that this is a big blow because Halo Infinite was advertised beforehand as
yeah,
a game that would show what the Xbox Series X could do, and obviously we had that disastrous presentation where it didn't show what it could do. It just showed current generation graphics, and people were disappointed, and that's part of the reason why I think it's getting delayed. I think they listened to the actual complaints of the fans, and we talked about this before, and it's on the site. It's just very difficult for a game that is 4 months out to look, to look much improved from what we saw on November. It's hard because by this point in time, most games are already at the late stages of development. It's if you look at some
yeah,
of the reveals that we had before, 2 years before the game comes out, the game already looks good. This game, it's not that it looked bad, it's just that it didn't look next gen, and I think it is a problem Microsoft has. But at the same time, they've been preaching Game Pass. That's what they care about. They want you to stay with Game Pass. I don't see the urgency
yeah,
to sell Xbox Series X.
yeah. Um, no, yeah, you have a good point there. I am hoping that the Xbox Series X though does well, because I am really looking forward to playing Halo and some of the other Xbox titles like Gears of War. Um, but yeah, it seems like a whole third time now Microsoft's really had a monkey wrench thrown in their launch plans. We had the red ring with the 360, and then the failed idea of the pass-through TV and using your Xbox as a multimedia system like they were preaching. I know my Xbox still has HDMI in and out pass-through, which never materialized. Actually, the Comcast app was pulled from the Xbox One, so you couldn't watch Comcast cable through it really. Um, so the multimedia idea died, and that
Well,
kind of stifled sales a little bit. And now it seems like a third miss by Microsoft with the Xbox. I mean, it's doing better than Zune.
it,
Um,
it's weird, and it is funny because they did everything right back in 2001. I don't know if you can remember. That was one of the best launch lineups that I think any system has ever had when the first Xbox came out. It had
yeah,
Halo. It had Dead or Alive. I think it was three. Um, it had Odd World Odyssey or something, I think it was called. You had a few exclusive games that were just very, very good. That was a good launch, and the 360 wasn't bad apart from the Red Ring situation, but that was hardware related.
Yeah.
They really messed up with Xbox One in terms of what they were the message they were delivering at first, and just what it ended up happening.
Yeah.
And this seems like a mess brought upon by what they did with the Xbox One. Like, I actually went online and saw some people calling for Phil Spencer's head. Like, they wanted him to be fired um, over this. You
Yeah.
know, I think he did the right things. He signed a lot of studios, but a lot of the signings happened a year or 2 years ago. They're not going to have games ready now. You know what I'm saying? So Halo
Yeah.
was the one that was supposed to carry the day, and that was just 343 Industries just messed up bad. I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know if it's going to be
Well,
some.
I mean, I personally really liked Halo 4 multiplayer, which a lot of people hated it. Um, but they didn't really screw up the Master Chief Collection. I mean, it was basically unplayable for a couple years for online, which is just unacceptable for such a big game.
So, do you think 343 needs to be checked? Do you think Microsoft should
I think
what's going on in
either
there?
either they don't have the resources they need, or they need like a lot more investment in updating their stuff. I mean, supposedly they were going to have a new engine. Yeah. I mean, they are taking their engine and making it kind of quote unquote open world, which we've seen isn't going to be 100% open world. But yeah, they definitely need either more resources, or somebody needs fired over there or held over the fire.
I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, what's going to happen, I think, is Gears of War 5 is going to take center stage in terms of they're doing the Xbox Series X enhanced version of it, and it might have ray tracing. I'm not sure, but I think it will.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And that game looks amazing already, even on Xbox One and Xbox One X. So I assume that might take center stage now. If they have another tech wheel or whatever, it's just bad because now they don't have anything to boast about on November really, except the fact that they do have. We have to see how Assassin's Creed and all these other games they play in relation with the PS5, because Microsoft still has the best system in terms of hardware power, but
Yeah.
first party stuff they messed up. I mean, this Halo was the one, and it just seems like they are in a bit of a bind here. But at the end of the day, they still want you to buy Game Pass. That's what they want. They want you to stay on Game Pass, and I don't know. I think this might hinder some of the early sales. I think of the Xbox Series X, and
Yeah, they might be counting on, at least this way, then they don't have to worry about it selling out over the holiday season, because I'm sure there's going to be supply issues with the whole COVID thing going on still.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how many people can afford one this this Christmas as well. I mean, we still don't know a price for it either. So,
which was one of the news too this week. I think it's that the Xbox Series S is going to be revealed finally. I think at the end of August. So
yeah,
you have to give you a price, because then what's the difference between the S and the X if you don't have a price differential?
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be a lot for hardware, the differential. Yeah. So you expect like a big one for price.
Yeah, like half the price, I assume. I mean,
yeah.
if you're gonna buy if you're gonna buy a system that has like half the RAM, not half the RAM actually, it has 1/4 of the RAM. Like,
yeah. Then there's still also those rumors that it's going to be able to boot in a desktop mode with Windows 10, which I would think be
1/4 of 1/3 of teraflop power GPU and half the RAM. That's what it has. Yeah. So it's half the price. I would be shocked if it's only $100 cheaper, half the price.
Yeah. And then you mentioned Phil Spencer earlier. I saw you wrote an article about how he had some interesting comments. Actually, was it on a Nintendo radio show of all places?
I have to drink a beer for this.
Yeah. Is Phil Spencer looking for a new job at Nintendo as maybe vice president of North America after some of these blunders?
When you said that, I actually, I think you're right. I think about this. People in his position, they don't last too long. They last like a console cycle, and if it doesn't go well, they usually get fired, and somebody else comes in.
Yeah,
So that's hard to imagine with Phil because he's more of a charismatic guy. He's everywhere, and he's likable. But
yeah,
maybe he's just making good public relations with Nintendo and Sony, and in case he does get fired, he gets a job somewhere. But he's always been like this. I don't know if you remember when God of War came out like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. He actually went 2 years ago. He went on Twitter and he congratulated the developers and said that it was an amazing game and that he was playing it and that he was hooked and that it was just he's done this before.
yeah. But
Um,
it's just easy. Well, he said that he loves Nintendo, and they have just their first party treasure for
well,
games.
yeah, he said
I
the
mean,
word.
is he? Yeah, is he throwing 343 a little bit under the bus there, saying
He
they're
might
definitely not the jewel of Microsoft?
see we're not privy to the stuff that goes in Microsoft, like what happens in there. Obviously, we don't
Yeah,
know if Phil because it's easy to blame him because he's the figurehead. He's the guy who's in front of the
yeah,
Xbox. But you work for companies. Sometimes you can only do so much. He's the guy
yeah,
who puts the face forward, but he can only do so much. Like he's tried to get studios in. He was, I think, a major driving force behind the redesigned Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. As in the mid generation. So I think he's done some good things. What we have to ask ourselves is if he's the one who's supervising 343 and all the studios, if he's the one who's because if he's not, it's not his fault. But if he, I we have the pandemic and stuff, so maybe he really
yeah,
didn't know exactly what was going on over there before he saw the reveal too with everybody else. Um, Obviously, maybe this is a low key message, like Nintendo is kicking our proverbial butts, and we need to get
yeah,
going. and but it was if you want to take that side that he's throwing a shot at the studios, then he's also throwing a shot at the company because he said that Nintendo. He didn't say Nintendo EAD or some other developer. He said the company itself develops games with the hardware in mind and everything, and it's just fantastic, and it is a jewel, and it needs to be protected. I felt like he was talking about the killer whales or something,
oh,
like an endangered
Nintendo is
species.
making plenty of money and has been around for quite a long time. I think they'll survive.
Yes, but I don't know what
Unless
the.
unless he releases the Zune Xbox Zune. I mean, he could.
But do you think he's frustrated with the company? Do you think does he's a gamer
I don't
first?
know. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
He's
just there. I mean, it's just easy to imagine him hiding in his office at an Xbox with the door locked, playing Animal Crossing on his Nintendo Switch.
yes. I mean, he was talking about visiting people's islands and stuff. So obviously he's involved. He's very involved in Animal Crossing. Maybe this is his relaxing time. I mean,
Yeah, possibly.
maybe
Um,
he wants something like he was very happy when remember Rareware, when they made Sea of
yeah,
Thieves because
yeah,
Sea of Thieves was like a social experience and it was a different type of game, and Phil was very happy about that. And maybe he just wants Microsoft Animal Crossing. I mean, maybe that's what he wants. He wants a game
maybe.
like that, like a social
Yeah,
experience game. I don't know, but
yeah.
I
We
feel bad for him. He could
yeah.
get fired of this. I don't think it will happen, but he could get. He could be in the hot seat as we
Well,
speak.
we'll definitely know by January or February, I think. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, some of the other big news. Actually, speaking of Switch, is for the mobile space. Um, Now, in the past 2 days, Apple and Google have removed. Is it Rare? Yeah, Rare's Fortnite
no,
from their apps. Epic.
Epic.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they've removed Epic's Fortnite game from. And I admit, I mean, I do play it occasionally. I know a lot of casual gamers who play. Um,
I think the entire 90% of Fortnite's base is just casual people, in my opinion. It's just,
Yeah, and then
I
so
mean,
much stuff changes. It's kind of gimmicky sometimes. I don't know. I prefer for online play. I definitely prefer like Halo 5, Call of Duty, World War II,
you know,
Modern Warfare. No, what is it?
I
Yeah,
think I think for one of the articles, eventually, maybe we should do someday. I have one magazine from a Game Informer magazine here in a box that has an early preview of Fortnite before it was Fortnite, like when it was being made.
yeah.
And I remember the game looked so bad. Like if it just looked so bad in terms of graphics. Even then, this was like back in 2011 or 12, and I was like, "Oh, this game is going nowhere." And oh my god! Thank God I didn't bet my house on that or anything on that because I would have been hopeless. It's
Yeah, it's like $1 billion a year game or something now.
yes,
It's like an
it's
unstoppable money making machine.
but Epic went from making Gears of War into making Fortnite. I just, I prefer Gears of War.
I
It's
mean,
just,
they're both third person action shooters, technically.
maybe it's just me. I,
Yeah.
most of the people, but Fortnite is big. Some people I know, every kid that I know that bought a Switch or got a Switch on Christmas, they have it because of Fortnite. Like they wanted to play Fortnite. They didn't care about Zelda or Mario or anything. They just wanted Fortnite. And I just think
It's
that's
definitely another one of those social type games. Um,
yes. I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know. I don't really see the. I'd rather play Call of Duty or Halo or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely it's like a
Well,
popular.
I mean, we live in the days where a guy like 69 is considered a hardcore rapper or something.
That's an interesting parallel you draw there because yeah, I mean, I would definitely call. I mean, I can see the hate mail and the death threats now, but Fortnite is definitely the Takeshi 69 of
I
console
mean,
gaming.
if you hate us for hating the 69, you should not even follow us. I mean,
Yeah,
it,
no, definitely.
we
I mean,
come from there. We come from there
this,
where rappers used to look like they could kick your ass in a street fight. The
yes.
69, I he just looks like
Oh, you
he
better be
looks.
careful talking shit about 69. I mean,
Just, I mean, the guy even lost all of his cred when he ratted out people
yeah,
because his freedom out. He's just, I don't know. But this is the
yeah.
society. This is the society we live in. I mean, this is what
I
it is.
remember the first time I saw him, it was on Facebook video, and I thought it was like one of those like parody thing, like music videos that Cracked made or something, to make fun of how crazy modern rap culture has gotten, and maybe they'll bring in Epic to work on Halo 5 or Halo 6 Infinite.
No,
I mean, you can buy for $29.99 your pony skin for for your Spartan. I mean, they already had the unicorn armor once. I don't see how. I mean, twenty
you
nine
know,
ninety nine. You can have your pony skin.
you don't have to go far, Mon. One of the news that we did, I think, 3 weeks ago that I wrote about was Sony partnering up with Epic.
Oh,
And part of the partnership entailed, I mean, hold your seat. Part of the partnership was that
wow.
Sony wanted to get involved, wanted to get its music artists involved in video games in terms of Epic stuff. So they
Oh,
want to create, yes, they want to create, I
oh,
guess, another social media game, but with people like 69 involved. And so, yes, our biggest nightmare has come true. So it might happen. It might
Little
happen.
Wayne, Little Wayne, the Godfather, is now producing video games. Apparently, in
I mean, and we thought it was bad when Soldier Boy started selling his own console. Remember that when he started?
oh those knockoff consoles. Those are just
Yes,
awful. That was ridiculous. I
we
mean,
thought.
who couldn't resist a game made by Takeshi 69, Soldier Boy, and I don't know.
And to be fair, Soldier Boy is a step. It's like 3 steps above 69, maybe 4 or 5. To be fair, I mean that's. I don't think our audience will mind. I think 12-year-olds might cry over this, but
Yeah, Soldier Boy definitely still has more musical cred than
on the
six
69.
nine.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Was there any more news? I think for the week so far.
No, everything this week was all about Halo being canceled and
Yeah,
and
the Fortnite.
and
Um,
Animal. Animal Crossing being a hit, and as you say, I guess Fortnite being canceled in Android and for the moment at least, and Apple. Do you know why that happened? Do you know what happened? Why it
Oh
was canceled?
yeah. I guess Fortnite had an update which made it so that you didn't pay Apple or Google their 30% of the
Oh,
in-game transaction fee.
well, you
Yeah,
know that hurt them.
yeah. I mean, you have to pay Apple or Google their 30% for your damn pony skin. I mean, big companies need a cut too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't mess with the royalties. You don't mess with their percentages. That they will screw you over. So I assume this happened, and there's going to be a negotiation or something, and maybe they only have to pay now 25% or something when everything's said and done. I don't know.
Possibly. We'll see.
Or
We
maybe
will
Fortnite.
see.
Say, is Fortnite still as popular as it was last year? Is it still?
I'm not quite so sure. If anything, I think it's even more popular
So Apple and
with the
Android are going to have,
pandemic.
yeah, Apple and Android are going to have to, I guess, negotiate now. Um,
Yeah,
but yes,
I
that's
don't
cool.
know how big of a difference it makes in the U.S., but you always see those like pictures of those like kids in third world countries with their keyboard and mouse plugged into their Android phone playing. Looks like very competitive games of it.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yes, I could never get into. I have it on Switch, and I played like 2 hours of it, and then I had to race it. I couldn't take it.
Oh, I see. I think I found a graph here.
I have to take a beer again.
Oh, for more
Talk, talking,
Fortnite news.
talking about the 69 just got me depressed.
Yes, indeed. Well, they have a number of registered users. Yeah, let me throw this up on the video here just so we can see how it looks. Oh, it's double. Um,
This is almost
yes,
a CNN.
yeah, yes. So a number of registered users of Fortnite worldwide from August 2017 to May 2020. In at least May 2020, it was
That's
350 million registered Fortnite users. Because you have to make an account to play unless you're a guest on somebody
yeah.
else's. Um, so yeah, I mean, if anything, I don't know if as many people still play
It is.
actively, but
It is growing.
yeah, it's a $1 billion business. Wow.
Who would have thought? Who, who would have
Yeah,
thought?
I mean, I think Microsoft wants a piece of this pie with Halo Infinite, so we'll see. Yeah.
Yes,
All
that's
right.
true.
Yeah, so I think that is it for today. So make sure you visit neverendingrealm.net. Yeah, neverendingrealm.net. Check out the Facebook. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube here. Any final thoughts, Samuel? I mean, what
No,
are
I mean, I feel bad for ourselves. We wanted to play Halo Infinite, whether it was on the Xbox One or the Series X. We were looking forward to
yeah,
that on November. It will be interesting now to see how Microsoft, in terms of hardware sales, bounces off of this.
yeah,
I still think they're not worried about it because they still have plans like the X Cloud that is going to launch now on Android and stuff. They're thinking in just becoming like the king of video game streaming. So that's still their goal. But it will be interesting. And Phil, may you have fun playing Animal Crossing. In the meantime, yeah.
indeed. All
Yes.
right. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. Bye.
All right. See you.